Hi, I am Mr. Brennan. I am the faculty advisor of the new Higgins Middle School Fiction Writing Club or group. Uh, I'm very excited to be here and to present this to you right now. I've asked if I could just have your English teachers take a moment of your time to talk about it. Um, this is very near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while. Um, what I have to bring to you right now is I have some quotes from some famous authors about what they think about starting to be a writer or how to be a writer. And this is Anton Chekhov right here. And he said, "Don't tell me the moon is shining. Show me the glint of light on broken glass." And you can see how much stronger that second part is than the first. It's a difference between passive and active writing. It's about drawing the reader into real action, to show, don't tell. Stephen King, who writes horror books, said that the scariest moment is always just before you start. And what he's trying to talk about right there is that the scariest moment for a writer is that moment before you begin writing, where you have that moment of doubt, where you're afraid that maybe you don't have what it takes to actually write this story, that you're not skillful enough, or that you don't really know what you're getting into. Um, and that's the usually the first barrier writers have to get past to start writing. Josh Whedon, who directed the Star Wars movie and the latest Rogue One, wrote that I write to give myself strength. I write to be the characters that I'm not. I write to explore all the things I'm afraid of. And what he's talking about there is in writing, it's important to take risks. Laurie Hall Sanderson, who I think is just a fabulous writer, wrote, "Write about emotions you fear the most." And what she's really saying here is you're always told as a writer to write what you know, and nobody knows what you fear more than you do. Louis L'Amour, who wrote a lot of westerns, a very prolific writer, said, "Start writing, no matter what. The water does not flow until the faucet is turned on." C.S. Lewis said that you can make anything by writing. He was a big proponent of the creative, magical force of writing. And Jackie Collins, I think, said one of the most poignant things, which is if you want to be a writer, stop talking about it and sit down and write. Because as a man once told me, hey, writers write. That's all it takes to be a writer. You want to be a writer? Sit down and write. So, without further ado, you are all invited to the Higgins Fiction Writers Group. And who is this for? Well, it's for anybody who likes writing stories, fiction stories, or even poetry. It's for you guys. We're going to be meeting in my room, 309 on Wednesdays, right after school till late buses at about 3:20. And we'll meet every week from January after Christmas break till May. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that's a lot of meetings to go to, and I agree. It's a lot of meetings. But I think what you'll find is that it's vital to show up for these meetings, because it's only with all of our minds working together that the writers group is really going to be powerful and successful. Now, does that mean that you can't come up to me and say, "Mr. Brennan, I have a track meet, or I have a game, or I have a show or a concert I can't make"? Well, that's okay. Once in a while, it's understandable. Nobody's perfect. But you can't show up one week and then take 3 or 4 weeks off and then come back another 2 weeks and then take 3 or 4. That's not going to work. The writer group will collapse. Whoever shows up, you have to show up as often as you possibly can and read everything that everyone submits and respond to it. Because you know that when you share your work, you're going to want them to do the same thing for you. And that's how that works. Now, what we're going to do every week is we're going to come here and we are going to write. And I'm willing to bet every single one of you at one time or another sat down and tried to write a story or a poem or something. And I'm sure you didn't like it. I'm sure you crumpled it up or threw it out or hid it or burned it because you didn't want anybody else reading it. Well, Don't worry about it. That happens to every writer. In order to write something good, you have to write a lot of things that are really not good and bad. And that's the really sad part about writing, because most people quit before they really start to get good at it. Um, so another thing that I hear from new writers all the time is that I want to write, but I don't know what to write about. Well, at Writers Group, I'm going to be giving you writing prompts every single week, both to write at group and another one to write at home. So I'm going to give you these fun ideas to write about and then try to help inspire you into writing. Now, why are we sharing like this? Well, because getting our stuff read is the whole point of the group. The only thing a writer wants more than to be sitting down writing somewhere is to have someone read what they've written and then respond to it and tell them what they thought. It's just really hard to get our family and friends to read this stuff. I mean, they want to, but a lot of them don't like to read. Or if they do read, they find it weird reading your stuff. And even if they do read it, they feel weird about responding to it. They might be afraid they're going to hurt your feelings. So every week, if someone has something that they want to share, we'll read their story and we'll respond to it. And we can probably handle, say, around 2 a week. We'll see. It might just be 1 a week. Then we'll read some stories written from the weeks before's prompt. And everyone will leave each week with another prompt to work on at home. And like I said, when everybody first arrives, what I'll do is I'll have a prompt up there because the sixth graders have less of a walk, so they can start working on the prompt while the seventh and eighth graders are making their way up the stairs. Now, I don't want you to worry about getting picked on again. Okay, that's not going to happen here. Our comments are all going to be focused about making your writing better and to give you props and to pat you on the back when you do something that's just absolutely fantastic. And that's the whole point of the group, is to inspire you and have a blast. Now, you might be asking yourself, why am I doing this? I'm a science teacher. Yeah, that's true. I am. But I've been writing fiction since I was your age. I wrote my first middle grade story when I was only in the 4th grade. And recently, I've had one of my short stories published in a literary magazine. And last year, I won an international novel writing contest online. In other words, I'm a writer. I know how hard and rewarding it really is to write. And above all else, I know how indispensable and fantastic and necessary a writing group like this, like your Higgins Writing Club, is going to be for you. I would have the most incredibly hard time writing if it weren't for my own writers group that I belong to. Their advice and they're an inspiration to me. Now, a closing thought. Jackie Collins said, if you want to be a writer, stop talking about it and sit down and write. What she's saying is that all you have to do to be a writer is to write. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get together with other writers and we're going to write. So come on, hang out with us, be a writer, write with other people, and help each other develop your skills. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a good day.